government wiped out the political movement by the 80s. What is emerging out of that is a cultural, artistic voice. And I see it coming. There's more Native filmmakers, songwriters, and so out of all that Native creativity that's coming out, see, we will find our voice.
It's a good day to be indigenous. It's 45 degrees in the sun. It's 8 a.m. Indian time.
Smoke Signals was another of the films that came right at the end of the 90s that started the golden age of Aboriginal cinema. This was a movie made by a Native guy, Chris Eyre, starring Native people, and not about what occurred 120 years ago. It was a movie about nativeness now, and that was a big breakthrough.
You're leaving the res and going into a whole different country, cousin.
But it's the United States.
Damn right it is. That's as foreign as it gets. Hope you two got your vaccinations.
Maybe all we need is a good laugh. Maybe that's all we need as a people, is a good laugh. And I think Evan Adams, was really the center of that.
Nobody can help us. No Superman, no Batman, no Wonder Woman. Not even Charles Bronson, man.
I was watching Evan perform, and I said, Evan, what are you doing? I go, what are you playing? Because I could never place it. He had this Indian humor and goodness to him. And he kept it the whole time we were shooting. I said to Evan, no, what's going on? What are you doing here, And he told me he was playing his grandma.
After crisscrossing North America, I finally arrive. Hollywood. Living in the Hollywood Hills is one of today's most successful Native actors, Adam Beach.
The perception of who we are in Hollywood has a lot of respect because they are still fascinated with who we are as a culture, as a people, throughout history and stories they tell through film, which is great because it really teaches a lot of people that, we have something to offer to the world.
In his starring role in Clint Eastwood's Flags of Our Fathers, Adam Beach puts a human face to the stereotype of the drunken Indian.
Tear down, son! Tear down, Ira! Tell him down! Shoot them!
Ira Hayes was consumed by alcohol. I myself, I can't even attempt to drink one in a crowd because there's another drunk Indian. I've always called myself a child of an alcoholic. So throughout that film, when you watch it, that's me. It's not acting.
Jesus Christ, he's drunk. Goddamn Indians.
Adam, I know he's very conscious of the problems in the community of alcoholism and been on the reservations and had done work in this area and made him play it very well.
I think I could see my mom before they shipped me off. I think they do that.
Here's a human being shedding human emotion. No stereotypes. No stoic Indian. It's just a young boy that wants to see his mom, who lost a lot in his friends.
I'm at the end of my quest, back up north in the high Arctic community of Igloolik. After traveling across America, the answers were here all along. It's an unlikely place to give birth to a film that has revolutionized Native cinema and gone on to win at the Cannes Film Festival. Atanarjuat, the Fast Runner, captures one of the Inuits' most cherished legends and brings it to the world.
At an Arjois, to me, was that point where cinema was being altered to tell our stories our way. And gone were the stereotypes of past. Really, in that one movie, there's none of that nonsense. It's a gloriously sexy film set in the Arctic.
Wow, I've never seen anything like this before. This is so pure in its soul.
I always say that that's the most Indian movie ever made. It's much more Indian than Smoke Signals. Smoke Signals was made for Indian people, but certainly for the overculture. When you get a movie like The Fast Runner, you're watching this movie and you're saying to yourself, this is an inside job.
Outside of town, in his hunting cabin, I meet the director of The Fast Runner, Zacharias Kunuk. I ask him why he makes films.
I see it as talking back. We picked up the camera and started recording our own history. The stories that we used to hear when we were children. What do we believe and why we are here?
As his elders pass on, so does their knowledge. Zach is in a race against time.
I had a problem. I went to a romantic scene where two people are kissing, French necking, but French necking is not our culture. And so we're making this story. I'm sitting down with the elders, asking them, how did you get married? What is Inuit kiss like? And that's what we've been using the camera for. How much trouble they went through to get us here. To capture it now, because 10 years down the road, most of the elders will be gone.
The most compelling moment of his film is when the Fast Runner runs.
The enemy arrives and with lances try to kill everybody under the tent, and you have blood all over. So you have a metaphoric naissance when this blood patch, this bear man arrived and ran freely in the sun. That's the new cinema. That's the image of the new Aboriginal in North America.
You have a native guy running across the ice, naked, through the water, in the snow. And as a director, I'm sitting there and I'm saying, that's not an actor, because an actor wouldn't do that.
Natar Ungalak, who plays Atanajad, he knows the story. He knows that he's going to have to run naked across the ice in this movie. That's the iconic image. There might be all kind of other things we can change in this film, but we can't change that. We had a props genius make up fake feet. The fake feet tore up right away. Running on ice is not smooth. It's very abrasive. So you've got to film that maybe 50 times. The actor was so committed, responsible to the requirement of his role, which is an iconic legend in his culture, that he was willing to do things that, you know, most people, even if they were willing to do, maybe couldn't do.
A new age of native cinema is born. These films revolutionized the native image for the world.
Those movies, the movies made in the North, are incredibly special. And they are progress. They're finally an Aboriginal cinema that isn't someone else's. The gaze is ours. But at the same time, you have a whole Aboriginal cinematic movement springing up all over the world, where you have filmmakers in New Zealand, filmmakers in Australia, and filmmakers in North America and South America making truly Aboriginal movies.
You don't always have to make great representations of Native people. We're not asking for that. We're not asking to be, you know, nobles or righteous or good all the time. We're asking to be human.
Indians aren't dead. We're here. We're vital. We got something to say. We got something to play.
To see it come in my lifetime is very empowering for a culture. We can't describe the importance now. They'll be described years from now by critics far probably more important than me. They will talk about, I think, what those movies have meant.
We're creative natives, and we're like the Energizer Bunny. The mightiest nation in the world tried to exterminate us, anglicize us, Christianize us, Americanize us, but we just keep going and going. And I think that Energizer Bunny must be Indian. He's got that little water drum he plays. And I always say, next time you have a powwow, have the Energizer Bunny lead the grand entry. And after a few rounds, then we can get together and eat him. Because we never waste anything. We share everything. And it's all right. I don't mind laughs in the show. I mean,